What's up guys, it's your boy Shin, and today we are going to be starting off the year with the best quality content, a tier list. Now before we get into it, I just want to say, if you see on your upper right of the screen, you're going to see a follower goal. We're at 269. I'd like to hit 500 by the end of the year, so if you guys enjoy the video, check me out on Twitch, link in the description. Now onto the actual meat and potatoes. We're going to be doing a tier list for 2.x characters and my thoughts on them. And let me know what you guys think down below. So we're going to do this in order. Actually, we got to yeet these guys down here because they are not a part of 2.x. But starting off with Black Swan, I'm going to put her in impactful. I think she is impactful because she made Dot really good, like a lot better. She was a big jump in quality for the Dot team because of all that she does, especially if you can get her light cone. And I would say arguably her E1 is more important, but just like her E1 makes everything crazy good, and she hot as hell. She is a really fun character story-wise. She's just a fun character to both play and look at. I mean, what? Anyways, she's a great character in my opinion. I think the thing holding her back is the fact that she's a Dot character, but that is to the general public. To me, she is a Dot character, and that is a plus side for her in my opinion. So she's gonna go in impactful. Sparkle, Sparkle, Sparkle. The SS Ann party popper. She loves to put a bunch of confetti cannons, if you will. We're gonna put her in game changers. Her game changeability is just the fact that she allows you to have more than 5 skill points. She is a skill point comfy character. I use her with my Acheron because of the skill point comfy with her and Joucho. It allows you to just use more skill points than you normally could get away with. And her buffing is really good regardless. And she was kind of like your first pseudo follow-up attack support. And I do enjoy follow-up attacks. So she's really good. She changed the game for a bunch of characters. The first wave of Jingyuan support. So that it's very good for Jingyuan mains. Misha. I can't think of a funny thing to say. Lil bro. He's a little bro. His concept is really cool, being a freeze character, kind of like Japard, where he can freeze on command. I think he's really cool. He had a lot of potential. He's a 4-star DPS, unfortunately, and that is just really shooting him in the foot. I know mage. But like his character, story-wise, he's important per se, but I don't know if he's really doing much in my opinion to put him up. And if you're using him, it's because you're just wanting to use a 4-star DPS and you like him, which is a very valid strategy or a very valid point. And if you like him, pull for him. Always the best pull philosophy. If you like the character, pull him, build him, have fun. Acheron, my waifu for Laifu. She is Raiden Basen Morime, the best character in the Hoyoverse in my opinion. She's my favorite character in like Hoyoverse. My one and only E6 S1 character. Will probably stay that way until maybe the Fate collab, but she's such a fun character. I think she's a game changer because she was the first instance of a character ignoring Kafka, in my personal opinion, that just doesn't care who you're facing or what you're facing, even at E0. Because her ultimate just reduces toughness gauge regardless, and she just has such high scaling that she was not the reason HP inflation happened. Trust. I'm not coping, you're coping. I don't care. It's all Firefly's fault. It's Super Break. Super Break's the problem, not me, not my waifu. Couldn't be her. Great character, fantastic, did so much, just changed so much for the game in all of the right ways. Aventurine, I'm gonna put him here, but realistically, he's here. He is the best sustain in the game, in my opinion. His shields are insanely powerful. He deals decent damage for a sustain with his follow-up attacks, and his ultimate giving crit damage effectively. Just does so much. He just does so much. And he increases effect res by 50% when you max out his talent. So for example, having Broken Keel, just having his shield up makes Broken Keel active, which is really strong. But he does so much. He, like, if you have him and you're dying, it's a skill issue at that point. So I think that's where he's at. Gallagher, the best 4-star sustain. He is like your budget super break healer. He is Lingshaw at home. Everyone who was coping saying E6 Gallagher was the same as E0 Lingshaw, I respectfully disagree, and you need to get your eyes checked, in my opinion. But we'll get to that later. He is still an insane character. I think his biggest flaw is that his cleanse is locked behind Eidolon. All the other 4-star healers that have a cleanse, it's either baked into their kit or it's an ascension trace that you have to activate. So that is a big knockdown towards him, but he just does, like, his stuff is really cool. He's like a budget Lingshaw / Luocha, because with his ultimate it allows you to heal your allies to heal themselves when they attack besotted enemies, and I think it's really cool. It's a fun mechanic. Next up, I would say the biggest game changers. Again, it'd probably look like this, but Acheron, waifu for laifu. Super Break changed the game, debatably for better or worse. It's the most comparable to Hyper Bloom, in the sense that you just build Super Break and you're doing stupid amounts of damage. It's a low investment team. It took the worst stat in the game and made it arguably the best as of right now. It gave Break Effect a meaning other than just being mad that you got a bunch of Break Effect rolls. And now it's like you could have horrible substats, but you could roll 4 times into Break Effect and you have the best Break Effects or Super Break piece. It's just they're really good, and they just changed the game. They changed the format, and they brought Super Break, and that I'm just repeating that over and over. But Super Break strong. That's the point. I want to put her in game changers, but I feel like we're gonna lower Sparkle to impactful, because while she was impactful for people who like Dan Heng, and she just made other teams that want a hyper carry support, just made it more comfy. So having a character that can just generate skill points for you is super nice. But Robin is your designated follow-up attack support. She buffs a bunch of your teams. Like, not buffs. She's like Ruan Mei, where like even if you're not using her in like Ruan Mei, you use her in Super Break and stuff. Even if you're not using Robin in follow-up teams, she is just insane because her ultimate deals more damage. She allows you to deal more damage %, and her ultimate also just action advances your whole team, which is insane. And we're not even talking about how insane it is, and it basically makes zero cycling even easier. It's just an insane, like, 100% action advance. It's like Bronya for the entire party, and it's absolutely crazy strong. It's awesome. And she's great. I love follow-up attack, so she's awesome. But I also use her on other teams. Like, I've been using her with Jing Yuan with Sunday, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But she's just a really fun character to use. I like her a lot. And her ultimate plays the song. She sings a song. So that's just added value because you get to hear the song over and over and over, unless you hate the song. But I like it, so it's my tier list, so shut up. Shoe Plane, aka Boot Hill, quality edition. I don't really think he's impactful as I think should be, because he is a pseudo break crit DPS, and he does both quite well. He implants physical, and he's a really cool character. I just think that, as you will see, he was passed up in value. Like, there was more value with other break effect characters, and he doesn't but he is a really good character. I actually do enjoy using him when they allow us to in events, but I personally, I don't think I can see myself pulling him until maybe I'm at the point where I'm just pulling for collection. Firefly, Firefly, Firefly. Below Harmony Trailblazer, but that's only because she does her own instance of super break, so she doesn't require Harmony Trailblazer to super break. But, you know, obviously, like 2 instances of super break kind of is a little cracked. But she's just, her entire gimmick is getting into her ultimate, which she does by herself immediately. And she ignores weakness type because she can implant fire on the main target, and adjacent targets just reduce the toughness gauge regardless of type. So she does what Acheron does with her ultimate or at E6, but to an insane degree. But the fact that she's a break character, her damage is really low outside of breaking. So that's her main drawback, but she's still an insanely strong character, and it's almost a non-issue with her full team. Jade. A canonical Dami Mommy, unfortunately, is a quality addition, but she will not have much value until 3.x, so in a few weeks. I hate saying that because I have a lot of fun with her, and I do use her in Pure Fiction quite often, which you'll see on twitch.tv/shitpoem_. Link in the description. But she's a follow-up character that buffs she's a sub DPS that does blast basic attacks. She is a Pure Fiction beast, and I cannot wait for her on my alt account to kind of bring her up to where I always thought she had the potential, and now people are starting to see it, and I'm just here to say I told you so. Yunli, Clara, but better. I don't like the fact that they power crop Clara. I love Space Ilya. She's one of my favorite top 3 standard manner characters, and since day 1 I've been referring to her as Space Ilya, and that's why I wanted her, and that's why I used my initial 300 pull 5-star selector on her to get her on my account, because I love her, and she's a fun character. I love using her when I can, and I use her with Jade right now in Pure Fiction, so she's like a Pure Fiction character for me right now. And I'm gonna say for Zhao Cho, he's gonna go in Impactful, but he's gonna go at the bottom of Impactful. He is, namely, 9 times out of 10 you're using him you're only pulling him for Acheron. But despite what everybody says for a weird ass reason that I disagree with, he is not a 5-star Pella. He is a 5-star Gwenaifen. They do 2 different things. Pella Pella does defense shred. Gwenaifen gives damage percent vulnerability, so she increases the damage enemies take. That is what Zhao Cho does, but he also buffs ultimate damage taken. So any ultimate damage focused character does benefit from his ult. So I think he has more value than people give him credit. Like I've done testing with him on my dot team with Black Swan and Kafka, and because his Ashen Roast counts as a dot, so he does have some synergy, especially with everyone on the team having an ultimate that deals damage. So it's just he's a better character than people think. I think he is impactful. I think people just tunnel vision on him only being for Acheron, but that's just my opinion. And now we have Hunt 7th or March 7th Hunt edition. I think she's a quality addition. I think she's really good. Because of some testing requested by one of my chatters, Arc, I built her and tried her out with Fei Xiao, and I had a lot more fun with her than I thought. She's better than I thought. I never thought she was bad, but she was better than I initially gave her credit. And I think if you have like Topaz, or you know, you have Harmony Trailblazer, so like if you have Ruan Mei and Topaz, you don't really have a reason to use her in either team personally, but she is a great free-to-play option character, especially like I love the characters that are dedicated sub DPSs. I think they are slept on because people just tunnel vision on hyper carry. So like, for example, Topaz is probably the most hyped up sub DPS aside from Black Swan, Jiao, maybe Jade. I think Jade's probably now just starting to get attention, and I would argue Blade. I'm gonna put Blade in there. Blade, I've always considered him a sub DPS. You could ask anyone in chat or my Discord. I've always said I think he's gonna be a sub DPS, waiting for a character to siphon HP, and then Jingliu Kimo. But anyways, she's a sub DPS. She's a free to play, really strong sub DPS, and people need to give her the credit that she deserves. Fei Xiao, I'm gonna put her here. She will actually overtake Black Swan. Well, I think Black Swan is more of my waifu, like is higher tier waifu. Fei Xiao is a higher tier character overall. She is the follow-up attack emanator, where she's not a real emanator, but for follow-up attack, she is the follow-up attack Acheron. So she wants to build up stacks from follow-up attacks to use her ultimate. So Acheron, as the emanator of Nihility, wants debuffs for her ultimate. Fei Xiao wants follow-up attacks, and with Topaz, Aventurine, and then you throw in Robin, she's insane, and I love using her. She is such a fun character. I love follow-up attack. I've always loved it ever since Clara, and then especially Topaz. So I'm glad that we finally have like a very busted character, especially her ultimate allows you, she has two modes, either more damage and toughness reduction for one mode, or if they're already broken, you use her other ultimate attack and it deals more damage to broken enemies. And she's just really fun in that regard. It gives you the choice to kind of strategize and whatnot. And I just love her. She's so fun. We're gonna put Ling Sha in Game Changers because she's a better Gallagher in basically every way. The pet, I forget its name, just does so much. She does so much damage. Like, it's insane. She just does so much damage, and the fact that her skill and ultimate deal damage to everything and heal, and her ultimate advances her summon, her pet, that cleanses. Her pet cleanses, and being able to kind of do a similar to Link's thing where cleanse on command with the ultimate, it's so good. She's such a good character, and even if you don't use her in Super Break, and you could use her with Acheron because her ultimate does apply a debuff, and she's just such a strong sustain that in Super Break is absolutely nutty, and I'm so glad I have her. Moza, I'm gonna put him in low bro. He is good with Fei Xiao, and I think that's it, in my opinion. I have not built him, so keep that in mind. I need to build him at some point, and I'm working on building all my 4 stars and just building every character, because I aspire to be the Jello Impact of Star Rail at some point. So I'm trying my best. I just do not have enough time in the day. So if you're interested in seeing that type of content, hit the subscribe button. Let me know you're interested in what characters that you don't see people building and talking about in 2024/2025, and so I can make that content for you guys, because I do want to do that stuff. But he's just a follow-up character for specifically Fei Xiao, in my opinion. So I just think he's not great. I think he's cool. He looks awesome. His animations are sick, but he's not very good in my opinion. Rappa Parappa. I'm gonna put her in impactful. She is the only reason I even wanted to build Super Break on my main account, because I'm actually, despite loving Hyper Bloom, I am not a big fan of Super Break. I think it is very boring, but I love Rappa's animations, her personality, just her kit and how it works with Super Break. I think she's just really fun, and going all Genji mode in her ultimate is just really fun as well. And with the new support for Super Break is she's just so much better. I think she is better than Firefly. Oh my god! But I also think mainly just because I use Rappa in Pure Fiction because she's blast, especially with the new changes that came out this patch. And I have a lot of fun with her. She is my favorite Super Break character. Sunday. He is a game changer. I'm putting him up here because he is our first summon support character. So he is the Ruan Mei of 2.7 going into 3.x. He makes Jing Yuan / King Yuan. I did a 10 pull on Jing Yuan's banner and I got him. So I built him up a little bit. I invested a little because I want to save so I can work on building a Glea, but he makes Jing Yuan, King Yuan, and I love that team. I did some testing with him on Apocalyptic Shadow, Pure Fiction, Memory of Chaos, and it is insanely fun. I love that team. It is so fun to pilot, and I'm just having a blast with the team. So game changer. He will get more value as 3.x goes on. So if you skipped him, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait till the rerun, and you're gonna be kicking yourself until you do. Fugue, I'm gonna put Fugue right here because I'm actually gonna put Fugue here, and I'm gonna put Harmony Trailblazer down here. Actually, I'll put, no, I stand by this because Fugue is the replacement for Trailblazer, Harmony Trailblazer, because the Super Break stuff is built into her talent, and her talent gives the exo toughness to the enemy. So she gives exo toughness and Super Break just for existing, and her skill allows you to like enhance an ally and give them the ability to ignore weakness type and deal toughness damage to anything. So she makes Rappa insane. I think if you have Fugue and Rappa, or if you have Rappa and Firefly and you have Fugue, I think Fugue allows Rappa to contend with Firefly, and in certain situations like Pure Fiction right now, outperform Firefly just because she is full AoE, whereas Firefly isn't. But that's just my opinion. I'm more biased towards Rappa because I like Rappa much more than Firefly. So that is it for my tier list. Let me know what you agree or disagree with down below. Like I said, pull for who you like and you'll never be bored because you gotta play with who you like. Don't pull for meta. It's never a good idea, in my opinion. Long term, you're gonna burn yourself out, and it's just gonna be impossible to keep up with it unless you're spending a bunch of money. But let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Twitch because I really want to hit that goal of 500 followers by the end of the year. And I'll see you guys next time.